Hi everyone. Yes, this is the preview video for tonight's episode 183 of the Adelaide Show. Don't be panicked. I am okay. I'm at the home of Dr Bill Griggs. Bill, thank you for being on our show tonight.
Thanks very much, Steve.
I just want to make one comment. I was much more comfortable sitting around a dining room table chatting with you. I would not like to be meeting you in your trauma role like this.
Unfortunately, a few people have, and what I want to do now, just for the people who are watching, is just go through some of the basic things that you might do for someone who's been hit by a car driven by Nigel.
Yes.
As could potentially happen to you.
Yes.
So the first thing you do is you start with the approach A, B, C, D, E. So A is for airway, so you make sure the airway's all right and he's breathing all right. At this stage we want to actually make sure the spine's all right, so we pop the cervical collar on, we just pop the collar around like this, make sure the clothing's not caught up, and hook that on, and that will just keep the neck quite still. Then we'll move on to B for breathing, and he's breathing, chest is moving, he's a good colour. Pop a bit of oxygen on at the same time.
Yep.
We then want to check the circulation, nothing that's obviously bleeding. We'll just check the pulse, make sure that the rate's all right, record what that is,
yep.
And we move on to disability, which is an unusual word, but I had to find a word for D, and that means conscious state. And at the moment he's fully conscious, so we've done A, B, C, D, and then we move to E. E's exposure, so we need to get a good look at the chest. So what we do is we just pull off the shirt and like that, so we can get a good...
Sorry, Bill.
You said
that's my work shirt.
Well, that's all right. You sew the buttons back on. That'll be okay, won't it? Should be able to. I'm sorry. I thought you wanted me to be realistic. So I'll just release this. All right.
I actually always carry a spare one in my car. Can I just quickly? I just feel a bit exposed.
Oh, sorry. I apologise for that. Please get your spare shirt.
You really take this seriously?
Well. Sorry, I thought you wanted a realistic demonstration, so...
Do I get to run over him again?
Right, I've got a new shirt. Bill?
Okay, alright, it's okay, I've got it now.
Pick up, okay, thank you.
Sorry, I got a little bit carried away, and I'll try and be more realistic this time. So, first of all, we need to deal with the airway. The airway is clear, he's talking, so that's okay. We will just pop the collar on again just to make sure that that's alright, just make sure the clothing's not caught up in that. We wouldn't want to damage the clothing, that's for sure. And we've got that right there, that's good. And then breathing's okay, popped a bit of oxygen on as we did before. We check the circulation once again, make sure that that's okay. I'll just get that around here so that so that's actually being held in place without actually doing too much damage. There we are. Now we've done that, we get to disability conscious state, fully conscious again, and now we've got to get to exposure. Now last time I tore off the shirt and ripped the buttons. We actually never really do that in reality. What we really do is we get the shears out. And when we get the shears out, we just cut down through the shirt like this so that we can get it off without actually having the violence that's involved in cutting down with the shears, pulling the buttons off. So this is actually a much more effective way of getting the shirt off and getting good exposure. You get down. If you're lucky, you might win a pair of cufflinks out of this, but basically you can get the whole shirt off in a reasonable time and get good exposure to the patient, and then all they really have to do is have a needle and thread when they get home, and they'll be able to sew it all back together again afterwards. So, and there we are. That's pretty good exposure. I think we've got quite there. And now we just move on to the belt and the trousers, and we're all set.
Wow, so you're making these snap decisions because at the time of this,
yes,
what's more important is that I live, not that my clothes are intact.
Correct. So we'll, if we don't have to destroy clothes, clearly we won't destroy clothes. If we do need to access someone, we need to cut the clothing off because we actually don't want to move the patient around, and we certainly wouldn't snap the buttons off like I did the first time. That was just something to lighten the evening up.
A glimpse into the life of Dr Bill Griggs, whose wardrobe's very shallow actually. He doesn't carry many shirts. Thank you.
Thank you.
Adelaide, Adelaide.